Did we finally find a bottom, or are we still about to head lower? A lot of questions on everybody's mind and everybody is exhausted, so let me cover everything in this video.
Time is of the essence, we're all gonna die!
What's up guys, Omar here. So again, there's a lot going on in the market right now. As soon as things start to look good, something else has to happen for the market to turn back into shit. And again, in the past few days, a lot happened. Now, before I start, guys, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel, because I really want to hit 700 subscribers, and fuck 700, I want to hit 8,000 subscribers. I would highly appreciate that, because I really enjoy making this content. Now let's continue with what really matters, and that's fundamentals and price. I'll start with fundamentals, guys. So by now we all know that Bybit got hacked for 1.4 billion, the largest cryptocurrency heist in history, which is crazy. North Korea is behind it, so bro wanted to buy 1.4 billion worth of Ethereum at the price of $0, so he decided to hack Bybit. Fucking crazy. But now, good news is that Bybit restored 1.4 billion in stolen Ethereum. So overall, that's a good thing. They have the money back, and it kind of makes sense that price is low, guys, because exchanges help each other. Do not forget, exchanges are not in competition with each other. They help each other grow. Definitely top tier exchanges. So as we could see, CZ immediately wanted to provide help with the founder of Bybit, or the CEO of Bybit, to help them advise on how to do things and blah, 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 blah. So these people are not in competition with each other. They are helping each other, making this industry grow. And to be fair, Bybit handled this shit very well. Like this hack, they handled it very well, and they quote unquote solved it quite fast. So congratulations to Bybit for that one.
Great job, gang!
Now let's continue, because this was kind of expected, guys. Update: Wintermute withdraws $38 million in Solana from Binance ahead of Solana's $2 billion unlock. And this was kind of expected, guys, because I made a video about this. If we look here on my YouTube channel, by the way, make sure to like and subscribe. Again, you're missing out if you're not watching my videos. Anyway, if you watch this video, you can see me talking about Solana heading lower. And I talked about this multiple times in all the videos that I'm covering right here, despite the clickbait title. But all the videos where I talk about Solana, I talk about the possibility of Solana heading lower, and it's finally happening. So if we look at Solana price quickly, we can see it's heading lower, and my targets for Solana are here. And if in a really bearish scenario, it's here. But let's start with this target. Obviously, it makes most sense as if for now. So that's a little bit on my mind for Solana. Nothing too special, but the same is happening with Ethereum, guys. So we have Solana being withdrawn, but we have Ethereum as well. Binance has been selling massive amounts of Ethereum in the last few hours. Do we need to be worried? In my opinion, not really, because AUMs, the president, and so many more whales and quote-unquote important people, if you want to call it that, are buying Ethereum. So it's not only retail who's bleeding right now, it's as well whales. Don't forget, Trump is bleeding, BlackRock is bleeding. They are all bleeding, guys. Everybody is bleeding. And don't forget, bearish news like this sets in a lot faster than when they start to buy. It's a weird game, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Then further, I think this is exactly as well about Ethereum. Big exchanges are suppressing the Ethereum price so Bybit can buy a lot more. And it kind of makes sense, because if we look at the chart, and this hack happened, what, a day or two ago? Okay, I think around here this hack happened. So let's say Bybit has to buy back the $1.4 billion worth of Ethereum. And let's say in terms of time frame, I don't exactly know. But Bybit got hacked when Ethereum was around $2,600 or $700. And then yesterday, Ethereum was at $2,830. It doesn't make sense for Bybit to buy back at this price. They would make millions in losses, which is not what they want, obviously. They already have to make a current loss and make loans to cover the funds. But it doesn't make sense for them to buy here while they got hacked here. So it kind of makes sense in perspective to assume that exchanges accordingly, or not accordingly, but in combination with AUMs and Trump and blah, 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 are indeed suppressing the price. I already talked about this many times. Further, Binance keeps withdrawing enormous amounts of Ethereum. We basically already covered that. And then last but not least, BlackRock spot Ethereum ETF now holds 1,366,069 Ethereum worth over 3.6 billion. So again, they are holding $3.6 billion worth of Ethereum. And yet we are bearish. It's actually insane. This is, in my opinion, the most manipulated bull market ever. And it's about to get worse in the next coming years, in my opinion. It's really about to get a lot worse. But let's see. Let's talk about technicals, guys, because that's what we're all here for. It's the technicals. Let's start with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, we had multiple perspectives, guys. I already shared this many times before in every video that I talk about, actually. We have three perspectives on Bitcoin. We have a sort of ascending triangle. So if we quickly just place this here, we can see that sort of ascending triangle is forming. If we delete this, then assuming that we are breaking down right now from this ascending triangle, we could assume that we are forming a reversal pattern and starting to break out. However, if we do hold support here, this reversal pattern is as well invalidated, and it just leaves us with a consolidation zone. So there are many perspectives right now on the chart, and it is because price is just ranging. Price is just basically doing the same every single fucking day. And it's quite annoying, guys. And again, whales are using this momentum in their advantage. And they have a lot more time than we do. They really have a lot more fucking time than we do. We are eager to get a X20, X30, X40, X50. But for them, they are happy with an X2 and X3. Because that's way more than what they would make in the stock market. Now, with Bitcoin, it's not very interesting for me. However, I do have a sort of theory. And I actually placed this on my Twitter as well. By the way, on my Twitter, I place everything a lot earlier. So make sure, if you follow me on X or on Twitter, however you want to fucking call it, do read this tweet. It's quite interesting. But I'll cover it in this video anyway. So we have Bitcoin now being here at 94K-ish dollars. So close back to the range here, or the ranging low of around $92,000, $91,000. And we can see that Ethereum is here at $2,600. And Ethereum right now here looks a lot like what it did right here. So bear with me. If we look on a higher time frame, guys, we have a massive wick. Here, a massive wick, 2 green candles, and then a massive red candle retesting the range low, I would say. And we can basically see the same right here. We have a massive wick, 2 green candles, and we are starting our red candle. Now, if we look on lower time frame, we can see that the downside momentum here also started on a Monday. Monday, the 26th of August, we started to see lower momentum. And then the next following days, we collapsed to the downside. And what can we see right now? We are Monday as well, and we are starting to fall to the downside. So it could be that we will retest the current lows for Ethereum, and things will make a lot of sense. Now, let's say that Bitcoin goes to around 92, 91K again. It's very likely for Ethereum to be back at around $2,400 to around the current lows. So I think that prices are trying to reset, because in overall perspective, we had certain coins that are massively overvalued compared to Ethereum, which doesn't make a lot of sense. For example, Solana was massively overvalued compared to Ethereum. And now Solana is seeing finally downside momentum, which was much needed, which means price is basically resetting. So we could assume in a certain way that prices now are fully resetting to where they belong against Ethereum and against Bitcoin before a reversal. Because again, certain coins were up so much compared to what Ethereum basically did in the past years or so. Now, let's continue. In my opinion, like I said, Ethereum will likely retest these lows again, and we will likely form a like of behavior like what we did here. And this behavior remained for around 91 days, we could say, more or less. So if we assume here 91 days, and bear with me, this will make sense in a little while, we can see that April or May is a very interesting target for us if we roughly repeat this time frame in historical perspective. Now, of course, that's not enough for us to base ourselves on. However, there is another thing that you have to keep in mind, and I also already made a YouTube video about this, but I'll share a little bit more in detail. I will not share everything again. For that, make sure to watch this video. Where is it? This one right here? It's very interesting. You'll have a lot of value out of that video, so make sure to watch it. So keep May and April in your mind, because we're talking about the US dollar index right now. Again, quickly pause this video and read this if you want to. I'll meanwhile continue. But everything here looks quite similar to each other, guys. We had consolidation, breakout, ranging above the high, then boom, collapse. Same here. Consolidation, breakout, consolidation above the high, collapse. Same story here. Consolidation, breakout. Now we are ranging above the resistance or current support right here. And now we are waiting for price to basically collapse back below this level and start its descent. Once it breaks here, it will basically be quote unquote go time for crypto, because once the US dollar index starts to, or the US dollar in general starts to lose its strength, Bitcoin and crypto starts to gain strength. So we need the US dollar index or the dollar in general to lose its strength. That's basically the only thing that we are waiting for. And now here's a very, very interesting thing, which will make me answer the question of why April and May is so interesting. So here we can see that in May, actually, if I don't know if my daily can go that far, it does. So if you look here, we can see as we were ranging above this high right here, we broke back below it on the 26th of May. And then if we look here in the former cycle of 2017 and 18, we can roughly see that the same thing is happening right here. And this happened in roughly the end of April that we started to break below, made a little retest. And actually, if we can assume from, because there's a gap here, if we want to assume it from the retest on, it's as well in May. In May, we finally started to break back to the downside, and an alt season and continuation for the Bitcoin bull run happened. Now, this brings us to the following. If we look back at the Ethereum chart, and we take this in our mind that this target or time frame target was as well around May, we could assume that the next following months or weeks, however you want to call it, the next coming 8 weeks, 12 weeks are very important to us. Because in the next coming 8 to 12 weeks, we might see the US dollar lose its strength. And once this loses its strength, we will see Bitcoin and crypto recover and eventually explode further to the upside, finally starting an alt season. A lot is depending on the US dollar index, guys, and the US dollar strength, because a lot of people are not paying attention to this chart, but it's so important. It's not only Bitcoin dominance or USDT dominance or whatever that matters, it's other things that matter as well. Let's continue with Bitcoin dominance now. Bitcoin dominance overall, I didn't really change my perspective about it, guys. Or two things gonna happen. probably do something similar like this, and we start to collapse to the downside, boom, 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 boom. Or we will break above this level. Altcoins will bleed tremendously. We will see Ethereum likely break below $2,200, head back towards the $1,500-ish level. And the market will be absolute shit. Everybody will be literally wrecked. Absolutely wrecked if this would happen, this movement. But as of for now, I do close this momentum out unless this zone turn into support. If that happens, then yeah, it would be a very bad thing. But as of for now, I might assume that we consolidate on for a little bit longer here, because assuming that we will consolidate here, it means that Ethereum will consolidate as well, like I already spoke about, and it means also that Bitcoin will continue to consolidate like we already spoke about. So everything will likely fall into consolidation, and altcoins will likely just see lower momentum or slightly consolidative momentum. It depends a little bit, but overall nothing very significant for altcoins until this shit decides to collapse to the downside. What won't make me bearish in the very short term is a break below 60.80%. That will make me bearish, and then officially bearish below this level right here. Then if we look at USDT dominance, also a very important one. I do think that this momentum looks like each other, but let's assume that it doesn't just for a second. We can see that USDT dominance is looking quite bullish as well. So what will happen? Two things. Or we form similar movement like I showed you in the beginning, here, and we will eventually find resistance here, collapse further to the downside, or we break this zone and we continue to climb higher towards 5.30%, which will likely mean that Bitcoin will break below $92,000 to $91,000 and likely retest around 87,000, if not a bit lower. For now, we have to close that out until this zone turns into support, of course, but it's something to be aware of. This has to see downside momentum in order for Bitcoin to see upside momentum. It's a very, very simple thing. Is there a very type of reversal pattern? I wouldn't say necessarily. I don't like this type of, I'll call it like I think it is, but retarded patterns. This just does make a lot of sense. So let's see and wait what will happen. For the rest, guys, nothing really changed. Total as well, it's still in the same phase. What I do think that will happen is that we will retest its former all-time high to turn it into support as well. Wicks do often get retested, guys. You have to know, despite some wicks being extremely bullish, we can see that they often do get retested, and more often than not, they get retested for around 50%. So what that I mean is take the boom, the Fibonacci around 50%, which is around here, and we can see that we basically exactly retested around that 50%, just a little bit lower, and from there on we reversed again. So wicks do often get retested, so this might retest as well. First target would be if we take the 50% of the wick. By the way, remind this little trick, it's a very useful one. If you know how to read TA, this will definitely sooner or later come into hand for you as well. And if you look here, the 0.50 is around here somewhere, so we could first retest around $2.95 trillion, and if we break below, we will just retest the lows before continuing further to the upside. Total 2 and 3, guys, it basically looks the same. Not gonna lie, not gonna start too much about it. Another thing that makes sense with consolidation is this movement right here. I drew this like a little while ago. So far it's going according to my perspective from a few weeks ago. So let's see, guys. So let's see. All eyes are on this support. Of course, we have to hold above this zone right here. If we do not hold above this zone, altcoins will start to bleed further. So all eyes on this support zone, or structural zone actually, because it's a structural zone. All eyes on the structural zone right here. For the rest, that's it, guys. There's nothing much in technicals that's changing besides that we're going down a lot lower. But make sure to pay attention to this chart right here. This chart is very, very important. And once this starts to break to the downside, you want to be aware of it, because that's when Bitcoin most likely will start to reverse, or shortly after, and crypto in general will start to reverse. Alright guys, that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.